There's always beauty in pure functional design, not because it is well ornated, but because of its straightforwardness and minimalistic virtue. In watches, the ultimate functional watch is the military one, with clear and direct time reading, high legibility, and easily spell out military 24-hour format. The charm of military watch is its no-nonsense quality, which incidentally matched the function of wristwatch today. One thing that still makes wristwatch works as a time-telling device, not just a fashion statement or status symbol, is that it must be faster and less hassle than picking up your phone. The easier and less effort you can tell time, comparing to a smartphone, the more functional your wristwatch is. That's where the dial design comes into play. The cleaner, more legible, more straightforward the dial is, the less effort it takes to know time. Back in pre-digital days, in military contexts, that can mean life or death. And so it is there we see the simplest and naked functional design. Today, we take a look at military pieces from Hamilton. The brand is the champion for value when it comes to practical watch. With its build quality and value for money that is hard to match by other watch brands. And the Khaki line, which apparently has military origin, is one of the most recommended by watch experts online for an entry-level price bracket. There are 3 pieces today, and one of them is a real contracted watch for the army. The other 2 emulate military style, but are actually made for commercial purpose. This is Hamilton military watch from 1971. The good thing about real military watch is that a lot of details are inscribed on the case back. Back in its service days, this inscription is purely functional, but after 60 years, it can become a legend attached to a watch. Hamilton logo is dated from the 70s. It is worth noting that not all of these military pieces has Hamilton logo on. What I've found online is that some are sterile without logo. Some comes with markers like T in circle or H3 with radioactive mark to indicate tritium, the hydrogen isotope. The case is stainless steel with sandblasted finish. Fits well with rugged look. There are also variations of the case design. Mine has the locks that seem to be a continuation of the case. There are others that have wide locks with straight shoulder at 6 and 12. My watch comes without bezel. Many other examples come with one. The dial is extremely functional, with block Arabic numbers and 24-hour scale on the inner ring. The great thing that I think even surpassed their modern interpretation is the alternate use of beige and white markers on black dial, breaking up a monotonic nature of the piece nicely, especially when in broad daylight. My version has straight hands with arrowhead second hand, but there are others that have sword hands with lume. The sword can be either straight or taper. Hamilton capitalized on this format of military watch extensively in their field watch lineup, especially the famous Khaki line. The second and third pieces today are mid-size Hamilton Khaki Field watches, which apparently has the DNA of the actual military piece. Note the Arabic block number hour marker style, with both 12 and 24-hour format, minimalistic look, and high contrast of white on black for maximum legibility. The only thing that makes it not functional is the use of sapphire glass without anti-reflection, on which the dome sapphire reflects everything bright in the surrounding and makes the reading difficult in many contexts. The difference between these two pieces is the size. Normally, 38mm should be alright for my wrist, but with the straight lock design, it seems a bit clumsy with overhangs. The one in 33mm seems to be tiny in number, but when I actually put it on, the lock-to-lock dimension seems to fit well. It then becomes my go-to piece whenever I want to be purely practical. The piece comes with original beige fabric strap, but I now have it on straight-end bracelet, which is not totally matched the finishing of the case, but I think it expresses utilitarian look well. It could have been better if Hamilton had some color variation on this series. They might strictly stick to functional and no-nonsense concept, but it can be boring at times. A touch of beige color markers, like the actual military one, would give it a nice touch, which I've started to see in some of the new pieces. One thing to note when you've been using these pieces for some time is that the actual military one seems to be quicker in time setting. One turn of the crown can advance you 1 hour on the dial, comparing with about half an hour for a typical modern movement. These three pieces are the descendants of the real military watch of the modern era, back when form strictly follows function. It seems brutal when you compare it to the ornamental style that preceded it. But in retrospect, function, when prevails for long enough, becomes a style, and the actual military piece has become a style icon of an era, and in turn, it is a style that inspired a new design, like the two pieces from the Khaki Field line. They may not be actually for the soldier, but they are created to look like one. And it is not out of date, because the root is firmly based on practicality. Let me know if you also enjoyed the military watch like me.